Hello, welcome to the next video in the Full Stack Developer series. In this video, we will learn about the primary key in Hibernate. So, we will learn two types of primary key. The first is the single primary key, and the second is the multiple primary key. So, for the single primary key, it's very easy to implement because we have did that many times in some previous video. For example, you can go to the user and see the primary key here. So for the single primary key, we just use the annotation ID. So this will make the field to be the primary key, a single primary key, sorry. So we move the next. The main part in this video is implementing the primary key, the multiple primary key. So before that, in this video we won't use the user again. We will create another class for another table. So before that, you need to download the script of the SQL and run it in your database. Okay, you need to download this script. I will put the link in the description so you can download it, or you can pause the video and type it for better understand the SQL script. And before we go to the Java, I will explain a little bit about this script. So the beginning lines, we have the statement that create a database. But yeah, we just use the same name for database name, full stack dev. But yeah, this depends on you, and if you want to another name, you can put it different. Alright, so in the next, we need to drop the table if it exists, and we create the order table. Alright, order table. And for the order table, we have two fields. We'll combine together to create a primary key using the primary key keyword at the end of the statement. And you can see here we have two fields combined together to create a primary key. And we have just one type for the data, it's a title. And in the end, we have a statement for insert 3 records for the order 1, order 2, and order 3 with the primary key. And the last, of course, we have a statement for viewing the table in MySQL Workbench. Alright, so all the code will be in the description again. Alright, so let's go back to the IntelliJ IDEA and coding in Java. So in the entity now, we need to create another Java class, name the order. Yeah, this class is also an entity, and you need to put a table annotation with the name is order, right? And in the class, we need to define something. The first is primary key, right? And the second is a data. So we need to define data first. The data is just one field, is the title. So you can create a primary string title. Don't forget to put the column annotation first. With the name is title, and some attribute like the length equal 50, and the nullable is false, and the unique is true. So how can I get this attribute? So when you coding in Java, you need to take a look on your database. You need to look at the constraint on your table. For example, we have the title, not null and unique, right? So you can put it the corresponding attribute in the column annotation like this. All right, after we have the title, we need to create the primary key, right? So to implement the multiple primary key in Java, we have two ways to do that. In the first way, we will use the embedded able and the embedded ID annotations for implementation. In this way, we need to create a separate class for the order primary key, and in the entity, you need to create a new Java class. You put the name order primary key like this, and this is not an entity, so we don't need to put the entity annotation and the table annotation. We just because this is the embedded able order primary key, so we need to put the annotation embedded able, sorry, and we need to define some value, some attribute, yeah, because this is hold the multiple primary key, so we need to put two fields for the primary key. The first one is the order ID, right, and the second one is the product ID. Oh yeah, short. You can see in the script we have two fields for the primary key, order ID and the product ID. We need to put the column for them. The name equal the order ID, because the field name in Java and the field in the table is different, so we need to put the column and the name for it. Do the same for product ID. Okay. After you create the order primary key, we will use this primary key in the order class. Private order primary key ID, just ID for short. Alright, but because the order primary key is the primary key, so you need to add the embedded ID. Okay, so now we have to finish. We have finished the configuration of the primary key. All right, for the order class, we need to create a getter and setter, right? Because this is the puzzle class, so we need to follow the rule to create a puzzle class. We need to create a getter setters. All right, we finish. And now, because we don't have any repository for this, so we need to create a repository for working with the order. All right, just copy for faster. You can copy the user repository. All right, and change the name into the order repository, and order for the list. We change something, just something. But yeah, you need to go to the Hibernate YouTube first to change something. You can see for the config, here we just add annotated class for just user, but now you need to add the order also. Order. Okay, don't forget to do this. Okay, just close this and go back to the orders repository and change all the data type for some method, for all the methods. Order, right? And yeah, we must change the the name of the method order, and here from order, right, and continue to change. You need to change the get the order by ID, order, okay, order. Yep. Order. Okay, I think we don't need to create those methods. Just change the order for some important method like this. Okay, and update. We also don't need to do this. Okay, so after you create the order repository, we can work with them in the main. Now we will create we will insert an order into the database. So now you need to first you need to create the order primary key. For new order primary key like this, and you need to set the just go back to the order primary key and create a getter and setter, because the field has the modifier is private, so we need to create a getter and setter, generate it, getter and setter, choose on and click OK, and go back here, the app. Now we can set the order ID. So now you need to because you can see, because these pair of field are combined to be a primary key, so we need to create a unique pair. Okay, that means you can insert a record and the same is existing in your table. For example, you can't insert the primary key 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 like this, but you can add for example 1 3 or 3 3. Okay, they are different with some pair already in your table. Alright, so just set it. It's 3 and okay, why cast into short and says the order, the product ID, and yeah, we have a primary key. Now we need to create an order, and for the order we need to set the primary key. Set the ID is the primary key that we have created before, and the last one is the title. Sets the title, the order for example, and last one you need to create a new order repository, right, and call the create order and add the order like this. Alright, just run it to see what happened inside your table. I forgot a very important thing. You can see in the log, in the console log, you see the composite ID class must implement serializable. So what does it mean? This indicates that we need to implement the order primary key to a serializable like this. Okay, you need to do this. This is very important. So after you do this, just run again to see. We see another. You have an error syntax. Okay, you can see we have a syntax error for the order. I think the order is wrong. Maybe the order is a keyword in your order. Yeah, the order is also the keyword in SQL. So we need to you go back to the order class, and in the table name we need to add the symbol like this. Okay, need to add this symbol for this to indicate this is a string. This is not a keyword in the SQL. So let's go back up and run it again. Now we have successfully running. Just check in your table. Just select on from user and see. Yeah, we have the new order for in here. All right, and you can see we why we need to why we must set the primary key here, because in the real world application, the order class, the order table and something like that must manually set the primary key, because we don't know about when you establish an order. You don't know about the order ID, right? And you don't know about the product ID. You can it's not that you don't know, but you can't automatically generate them, right? You need to get the order ID and the product ID from some previous process, and you use them to set for this, right? Okay, so just move to the for next ways for the multiple primary key. In the next way, we will use the embeddable ID class. Okay, embeddable ID class. And here we also keep using the order primary key like this, but in the order you will not use the embedded table like this. Just remove this, and now we will move the order, short. You move the order ID into the order, and also set the column for it. Column name equal order ID, and also for the product ID, product ID. Okay, and for getter and setter for the ID, just remove it and create a new one. Generate this getter and setter. Alright, now for the column, you need to add the ID annotation for them. for both order ID and the product ID. Okay, and on the order, now you need to add the ID class and put the order primary key class. Okay, you need to use that. You need to put the ID class above the order name. Yeah, we just finished the configuration for this ways, and go to the app and change again. Right now we don't need to create the order primary key. We just set the order ID like this. Short. And product ID for the order file, and run it. Now let's check in your table, and yeah, now we have the order file now in your table. So you can see in the second ways for implementing the multiple primary key, you can see when you create the object, you don't need to create the object for the primary key, right? You just use the order and set the fields for it. So by this way you can save the code, but you know, in every ways we have the good and the bad thing. So depend on your situation, you can choose the best way to do for the better. Okay, all right, I think that's all for today's lesson. If you found it helpful, please give me a like and a subscribe, and if you have any question or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment below. And thank you, and see you in the next videos.